All right, let's talk about one of the simplest, but honestly, one of the most powerful ways to get a real handle on your money. We're going to break down the 50-30-20 rule. But before we jump into the solution, we've got to understand the problem. And it's a problem that, let's be honest, pretty much everyone faces with their finances at some point. I mean, does this sound familiar? You get your paycheck, you pay some bills, you live a little, and then you look at your account and think, wait, where did it all go? It's like it just vanishes into thin air, right? Well, here's the thing. For most of us, this feeling doesn't mean you're bad with money. It's not really a spending problem, it's a planning problem. And that's actually great news, because a planning problem is something we can totally fix. And the fix? It's beautifully simple. Seriously, no complicated spreadsheets, no tracking every single rupee. It's just an elegant, easy-to-remember rule of thumb. So here it is, the 50-30-20 rule. It just splits your income into 3 really clear buckets: 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and a super important 20% for your savings. That's it. So basically, it's a simple framework for your take-home pay. Half for the stuff you absolutely have to pay for, a good chunk for the things that make life fun, and a piece for building your future. It's all about making it clear, simple, and stress-free. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What actually goes into each of these 3 buckets? We're talking needs, wants, and savings. All right, first up, the biggest piece of the pie, 50% of your income. This is for your needs. Now, needs are the absolute non-negotiables. We're talking about things like your rent, your basic groceries, your utility bills, and whatever it costs to get you to work. These are the expenses you gotta cover just to live. But, and this is where you have to be really honest with yourself, it's so easy to mistake a want for a need. For example, groceries are a need. Getting takeout every single night? That's a want. Having a basic phone plan is a need. Needing the latest, greatest phone the second it comes out? That's a want. Getting this distinction right is the key to making it all work. Okay, let's move on to the fun part. The next 30% of your income is all about your wants. This bucket is for all the stuff that makes life more enjoyable. A little shopping, going to the movies, dinners out with friends, all those streaming subscriptions. This is your lifestyle cash. And listen, this is so important. Budgeting doesn't mean you have to stop having fun. Not at all. The goal isn't to get rid of your wants. It's just to put them in a container so you can control them. It's all about balance, not deprivation. And finally, we get to what might be the most powerful part of this whole rule, the part that really builds your future. That last 20%. This 20% is where you pay yourself first. This is money that goes toward building an emergency fund for those nasty surprises, or making investments so your money can grow, or saving up for those big life goals like a house or an amazing vacation. Now, hang on. If you're looking at your budget and thinking, there is no way I can save 20% right now, don't stress. Seriously, the number isn't as important as the action. Start with 5% or even 1%. The most important thing is just to build the habit of saving. You can always work your way up. So all this theory is great, right? But let's see how it actually looks with real numbers. This is where the light bulb really goes on. Let's just say your take-home pay every month is 50,000 rupees. With this rule, you instantly know your plan. 25,000 rupees is your budget for needs. You've got 15,000 for wants, and 10,000 goes straight into savings. See? So clear. And that right there is the real magic of this whole thing. It gets rid of all that financial anxiety and just replaces it with clarity. There's no more guessing, no more end-of-the-month stress. You just have a plan. Okay, before we finish up, I want to leave you with one last, really important idea to keep in your back pocket as you start using this. Look, life happens, and it's not always going to fit into neat little boxes. Some months, your needs might cost more. Maybe you live in a really expensive city, so your split is more like 60-20-20. That is totally okay. Think of this rule as a flexible guideline, not some strict law you can never break. And that really is the key takeaway. Don't chase some idea of a perfect budget. It doesn't exist. Instead, chase a balanced financial life, one where you're covering your needs, enjoying your life today, and building a secure future. That's what winning looks like. So, I'll leave you with a question to mull over. Just think about your own spending. What's just one, want that you could consciously control
starting today, to get yourself one step closer to your goals.